Okay, drain pipe is confirmed open. So the lake is draining yet again. And this is actually what the flow looks like with that pipe full open. I looked inside the tunnels, took a few pictures, hopefully they'll turn out. And the pipe is spitting raging water like crazy. It is gushing out like a geyser. So I figured out the secret as to why we are not seeing excess flow. The deal is the water takes the same cross-sectional area, however the velocity speeds up and it actually starts to etch out the bottom. Some of these areas, like I believe right here, begin to approach what the width is in depth, and I actually measured it. So what you're seeing here is an increased flow combined with plunging out of the bottom, so that's why the water level doesn't really rise when the lake drains. Here's this pipe with increased flow. Not sure what's causing that strange eddy there. Three goals this time. 1, look for amphibian tracks. 2, see if the lake is drained any further. And 3, don't step on broken glass that's inevitably there. Okay, so here we are. I'm right at the water's edge, and it looks like the lake has been drained even more, perhaps by another 3 inches. I'll measure again. I can actually see this here might be the 7-foot drop-off that I see in front of me, because the slope increases right about here. But the only way to tell would be to go up and measure it. There's that mystery grade again. That's now about a foot above the water line, and that crazy pipe is still draining. So I'm going to look in to see if I can figure out what that is. This is likely somebody's experiment to determine as far as the water went down. As you can see, this is almost directly out from the stairwell, and by that log or stick, which is just ominously placed there. So what will happen is the water is going to rise, and whoever that was is going to come back looking for this, and that will show how far the water was drained out. That's one way of doing it. You can put a stick there and then determine once the water goes up how far it's drained, or you can be like me and actually measure something that's already there. That way you can know the answer immediately. By the way, regraded and asphalt rock. They apparently spawn. This is a new material that I've never seen before, and it's likely the next thing that comes after that strange black line in the middle. This is apparently white clay, and I'm not sure how extensive it is, but there it is. By the way, that's a huge rock. I am wondering what this thing is. It is very close to shore and likely sitting on the top of the drop-off. This is some of the lake grass that we saw last episode. The lake has definitely drained out a few more inches, leaving that lake grass now dry on basically a desert scape. Almost looks like Lake Mead as of now. Extremely windy. I'm not even sure if you can hear me anymore. It's extremely windy, extremely dry, and the water, for whatever reason, decided to be extremely clear. Okay, I'm under the dock now, and I'm actually looking at the piers now, and they're much further down than I anticipated, so we might be another foot down. This is an old rusted bike. I'm actually going to pull that out of the water now because it represents a swing. On a previous video, I said that this pier here, actually this pair are between 5 and 6 feet in normal depth. We're going to see if I'm right. We're back to old technology again. One of these days I'm going to buy a LiDAR unit, and then we won't have to go back in time again. And here we go. Well, if you can read it, I'd say that's 67 or 5'7" Unfortunately, this thing doesn't have a centimeter scale, so I'm gonna have to convert on video, but you'll see it pop up. So yeah, more than halfway between 5 and 6. By the way, the lake level is now down to the point of the drop-off. You can pretty much see virtually as soon as you get in the water. I'm trying to get this angle. I don't know if you can see it. It goes right off. In fact, I am slipping down the slope. It's so steep. So if we're down 6 feet, then it means that pier out there is also 6 feet, roughly 2 meters in depth, despite the fact that the lake is already drained almost 2 meters. It's kind of really hard to see given the reflection of the water, but it really does go down fast. I'm always fascinated with things like this because in normal situations you don't see angles this great underwater. They get eliminated by means of erosion or fill or some other reason, but for whatever reason this area likes to maintain depth. Of course, I speak in terms of sand and mud. If this were a rocky lake, it would be a different situation. I know in Minnesota there are lakes that go off so quick you can literally jump off a rock and you're clear by at least 5 or 6 meters. So, yep, we are drained a little further. Artifact recovered, plus 10 points. A few episodes ago I mentioned that this lake was created by essentially filling an empty ravine with water. I'm actually coming around the bend now. There's so much extra sand here that I didn't anticipate on that you can actually see more of the lake now. More than any other video. And I was right. So here we have a stump that is likely over 50 years old. Hopefully this happens again, but I heard 2 dogs on either side of the lake barking back and forth, and because of the echo, I was hearing it at the exact same time. So you basically have 2 dogs barking at the same time, which is not true. It's a back and forth, but because of the echo, I'm hearing both at the same time. Now, the most impressive parts of the slopes in this lake are once you get to the part that's not man-made. Well, the whole part is man-made, but the slopes as of here aren't. This is almost what you would see in a game like Minecraft. That is almost 45 degrees 1-to-1 in some areas, especially the top. You know what? I take that back. That's definitely a 2-to-1. We got some serious erosion of the earth right here. This is a situation where I was talking about normally happens. The angle of repose gets too great and the system begins filling itself. So this is a situation that we have here. The slope here is too steep to maintain underwater, and so the ground is compensating by relaxing the high areas onto the low areas. Here's a view a good way up the lake. This is very similar to the first view, but from lower down. Okay, this may be the steepest angle yet. That's going to be more than halfway to 1-to-1. Once again we have another rusted bike. That seems to be the theme of the day. Rusted bikes. I can't pull that out because it's so steep that I would actually fall down into the water and keep going, so I'm not gonna risk cutting myself. Okay, so this log and that log are usually obstructions for the boat dock. So this is actually the boat dock is viewed from the towards the main section of the lake, and I think I see a runaway trailer. That's a big noted. I think this is the largest artifact, human-made object that I have seen under the lake. That is almost an entire trailer. Quite larger than something that I would have expected. They have finally decided that the eroding sediment has filled up the channel so much that they should go ahead and dig it out. And this will allow larger boats to come through with ease. And I'm actually standing at the water line now, and you can see the difference. When this is filled, wow, that ramp is steep. When this is filled, everything from basically that turn in the dock out to here will be about 4 feet in depth and on through here. So this is pretty similar to how it would have looked when the lake was first created, before all the sediment could erode in. So that's a huge difference, and I'm going to note that next time I'm in here with my boat. Actually, might even be more than that. If I'm looking, yeah, I'm looking across there. Might actually be as high as 5 feet, but I'm not exactly sure. There's no real way for me to measure this until the water goes up by either just dropping a stick or walking in. I see something over there. Something pink. That's a fishing rod. To look out for that. Okay, I'm on the boat dock now, and I'm really glad I did this video series, because you can go to my video called The Lake is Drained, the original, and compare the before and after pictures. I mean, this is crazy. This is like night and day. Before, it was pretty much this depth all the way out to where it gets mucky. Now it's much faster dropping off. I'm going to be absolutely terrified when they bring the water level back up, because of all the traps that people have laid, such as broken bottles. So, not sure why, but I keep hearing, I hear noise and then it goes away, and then noise and then goes away over the course of the videos that we've made. And if you look here, there are several steps of erosion. So it looks like the way they've done this is to keep the pressure low. They've been opening it bit by bit, waiting for it to level out, open it some more, waiting for it to level out, open it more, and it's open right now. So I'm not sure how much longer they're going to let it drain, but we're right where they said it would be, between 5 and 6 feet, and it's still open, so curious to know where it's going to stop. That strange gate-like structure, and still I have no idea what it is, but there it is. Well, these things keep getting pushed off because further and further down. I'm not sure why that is, though. That looks like a turtle. Alright, that's bad. That's dam material right there, and it's eroding like a cave. There's some space under there. That's not good. Another cinder block. Wonder if my cone is still here. We're almost to that. The only thing that scares me more than bottles is fishing line. Probably doesn't even show up on the camera. But the reason is because you can become tangled in it, and what's on the end of it? A hook. And what's on the end of the hook? A barb, so that you can't pull the hook out. Alright, there's the cone. Somebody's pushed it over, which pisses me off, because now it's even further down. So it started at 42 inches. We're now down to about 76 inches. So that's a good dive. Still, it's in the exact same location, and it's probably deep enough now that nobody's going to screw with it, assuming it doesn't go any further down. I want to grab it, but the water is grossing me out right now, so I'm not going to try and retrieve it. There's orange soil. That's from, what is it, Apollo 17? Anyway, here's that same weird sort of reddish orange stuff. It's exposed now. It's a surface material. Doesn't go any further down than the surface. Broken glass. Broken glass. Tetanus. Broken glass. Too much. Way, way, way too much. Somebody's gonna get injured or worse. Broken glass. Guess what I just nearly stepped on? Broken glass. I'm going to leave this filming location because it is unsafe. I'm not going to power up the camera until we get off, because that is the second time I nearly stepped on broken glass. One of these days I'm going to blow up. I stepped on one piece of broken glass for that. Luckily I'm not bleeding. And that's it. With the lake plugged, it's going to begin rising up and all this will be covered again. Or so he said. Folks, this has been a learning experience for me. I hope it's been one for you. I've had fun making these videos. I don't know if they're going to drain it further, because it just seems to, every time I say this is it, they keep lowering the level. So I don't know where we're going to go. But as of now, I don't plan on making any videos when the lake is filled up. Maybe I'll just do one at the boat dock and one at the beach so that you can see the before and after pictures. But yeah, that's about it. So thank you guys for joining me. I want to close by saying, even though this area looks like a desert but isn't a desert, it might as well be a desert, because when I started making these videos about 1 month ago, I was wearing a fairly thick coat. Now, I'm wishing I had my water bottle with me right now, and I would be swimming if the lake wasn't so disgusting right now.